So now I'd like you to ask your mind, what was the first time when I felt love? What was the first emotion of love? When was the first time I felt that? See what comes up. And if you can connect with the same emotion that you felt at that time, and once you've been able to connect with that, just open your eyes. So I'm going to go around. I'm just going to ask you, at what age did you see that when you felt love? Just tell me the age. Approximate age will do. Okay?
So just very small, not very big.
Roughly, approximate?
Maybe 3 or 5.
Okay, perfect. And
13.
okay, okay. Good. Okay.
15.
Okay, okay.
37.
Okay, okay. Wow, perfect. Like an arrow, eh? 37.
13.
13? Okay.
Maybe 13, 14, 15, that.
That age group? Okay.
Yeah, around 20, 15, 20.
15, 20? Okay.
3 years. 3 years.
3 years, when you were 3-year-old. Okay, very good. 2?
5.
Okay. 0. 1. Minus 1. You don't know? Roughly? 2. 2, 3. Okay.
No, 7.
7. Okay.
12.
12. All right. Aditya, did you do the exercise? You're focusing on that? All right. So, see, the earliest memory that we have of love is around this age group of 3, 2, you know. But when were we first introduced to the emotion of love was when we were in the womb between 11 and 12, duration of 11 and 12 weeks. So that early, we were actually introduced to the emotion of love. And, but we don't have a recollection of that. So some people can even connect with the time when we were just born. So people usually say that, oh, when I was just born, my mother held me, and that's when I felt love. Right? Right? So the womb memory is not there, but that child memory is there, that we've felt love for the first time when our mother held us. And, when she there was a touch, human touch. So what happens in the brain at that time is oxytocin, which is a neurochemical, that is pumped at that time, because that happens when we feel safe and when we feel the touch. So every time there is a touch, warmth, that is the neurochemical that is going through our brain at that time. So neurobiology is at play here. So there are other neurochemicals we can go into, but there's the science, the organ, brain, which helps us to feel the emotion of love. Now, what kind of love do we really feel of? What are the different types of love that we can feel? One love, whenever I put the first time I created and creative and I sent to everybody, there were hearts there. So I was thinking, I don't want to send the wrong message that this is going to be only about romantic love. Because how many people, when you thought of love, thought of romantic love? Okay. Okay. So that usually is where the mind goes straight, right? But there's so many actually different forms of love, and that's why the different shades of love, and that's why we wanted to talk about today the different ways we feel different emotions of love, right? Um, it's not the same. Do you agree with that? And some are more deeper than others. Some love that we feel are like I see uh, this particular emotion play out in my work almost every day, and I see the lack of it and what that does to people. So when I see that there is a lack of love for who? The starting point is lack of love for self. And when you don't have love for yourself, it's very difficult to love others. So if you look at clinical issues like anxiety, depression, even sorrow, but not depression, right? All of these emotions are there mostly because there's a lack of self-love. So we have exercises, we do things to build love and self-love, right? So we'll talk a little bit about that as well, as to how you can build self-love so that you fill that cup, which is kind of empty or, not quite full. Once you do that, you'll start noticing world differently. I see that in my work. Well, people kind of come with a certain expression on their face. The shoulders are down. The body language is telling me that they are, not happy. Sometimes people come smiling, but they're not happy. So in the session, we come to know, okay, I know this guy's not happy. What will make him happy? So a lot of times, our sessions sometimes go about talking about football, talking about guitar. Is that therapy? Somebody paying me money to talk about sports? Why is that important in the beginning? Because that is something that you're interested in, that is something you love, there is a passion for it. So the idea is we are trying to connect you with that love, because you've been so disconnected. Like, there's a guy who comes, he plays the guitar, he is passionate, he's been playing since the age of 15, he's almost 40, and he doesn't like to play the guitar anymore. He's scared. So what came out was he's scared because he doesn't think he'll be able to play at that level, that well. So he's already taken as a defeat that, no, I can't do this. I can't play the guitar. So we started with, just keep the guitar next to you. Just keep it there. Don't play. Just keep it there. So it took him a while just to keep the guitar there, then to hold the guitar and just feel the guitar in your hands. And slowly, I also introduced him to, or reminded him rather, that you start to listen to other guitarists. So slowly, that passion comes back up. And once he's playing every day, again that love and that passion has come. So this gives a lot of joy, and this increases self-love. It connects because you are connecting with something which is giving you joy, happiness. You're not looking for that outside. A lot of times we are looking for that outside, and that keeps us, feeling very unfulfilled, maybe cranky, unhappy. So if you do a lot of things for yourself, things that give you joy and happiness, then automatically you're getting more of those neurochemicals, which are happy neurochemicals, flowing through your brain. So your brain also as an organ starts to stay younger. So if you do an MRI of the brain, you'll see that a guy who's maybe 40, his MRI of the brain will show an age of 60 or 70. because there's lack of stimulation in the brain and lack of emotions like love. So when you fill all of this up, the actual organ will be much healthier and younger. And it has been scientifically proven to be so. Okay. So anyway, so we're looking at how do we get to these things. So self-love is something very important. We've spoken about that. What were some of the experiences that you guys had when you closed your eyes? If you'd like to share it, no compulsion, of when you connected with love, was that romantic love or was that love for a sibling, for a parent, for a friend? What kind of love was it? You won't get into trouble. They'll be closing their ears. So anyone would like to share?
It was for the parent and the sibling.
Parent and
I
sibling.
mean, my child.
Your child?
Child and
With a
the separating from the parents. When you get married, that time you feel ke,
So that love
yeah,
from your parent
from parents.
and your child and you?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Was that the same kind of love?
Of course. Me for my parents and me for my son.
The same kind of love? The intensity was the same?
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
I guess for me, it was coming back home. Now I probably realize what the answer is. Having studied in a boarding school from the age of 6 till I reached home, which was at the age of 14, I think I realized that I was missing home. I don't know what was happening at home, but I was just missing home. You come home, of course, for your holidays, and you go back, and you start missing home again. But now, having grown up to an age where you probably think, or your brain thinks that yes, I think it's time that you're matured enough to understand why you are here. What is that you're missing? I don't know. It wasn't anything materialistic. I was just missing probably the love.
That's exactly right. I mean, that's something that as therapists also we talk about. Like if somebody was to say that, they don't know, I was missing home. So I'd say, what is it about the home that you're missing? Is it something, are you missing your room? Because that's your area of comfort or that's where you feel safe. Or are you missing your parents? Or, so we're trying to identify, are you missing a human being? Or are you missing something which is, materialistic, possibly? There could be various things. So like you said, I was missing that love.
Yeah, it was. Because I didn't know what missing a room was.
Right,
So
right,
I was never at home.
right.
Most of the time, for 9 months of the year, I was in school.
Yeah.
I came home only for the holidays, which is about 2.5, 3 months.
Right, right.
In 2 lots.
I see.
So I think that was what was missing in my growing up years.
Right.
And I think that is a very impressionable age.
Yes.
When you are 13, 14,
Yes.
you tend to miss your parents a lot more than when you're younger. So you start growing up, your body reacts differently, your brain reacts differently. Not that all the parents that send their children to the boarding school, were allowed to come at any given point of time. No. Maybe a lot of other students also went through the same kind of turmoil in their head as far as love is concerned. They came from United States, they came from United Kingdom, they came from all over the world.
Right.
So
Right.
it was not so simple for just you take a flight and just get back home.
Yes.
You would get homesick.
Yeah, I would get home. I went at the age of 6, so it was, for me, it was a very traumatic period at that time because once you get back, once you get into school,
Yeah. Then again.
there's no mommy and no
Correct.
papa in
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, well, my parents at that time were busy, so they left us at the station. Then me and another girl, both of us held hands and walked to the station, walked into the train. And there was a whole Bombay party, which we called Bombay party at that time, with the teachers, and they took us to school. Why, it was great fun going into a train, getting into school, and all that. As night fell,
Then.
and it hit you so hard.
Hmm.
So I think yes, yeah. I mean, it wasn't anything materialistic. I think it was just plain, as you rightly said, touch.
Hmm.
The home feeling.
Hmm.
Exactly. The same.
So when I came back home, it was, I mean, pampered to no end.
Right. 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 And then going back again to that
And
environment.
again, going back to that life,
Hmm.
yeah, it hit you. It hits you hard when you're there.
Hmm.
But once a couple of weeks pass by,
Hmm.
then you get into the routine of the school and
Hmm.
your friends and everything.
Hmm. Hmm.
Then life goes on.
Hmm. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, we died quite early, so we spent about 7, 8 years together. And there was a time when there were no emails back then. So I wrote a letter to him saying, I'm missing you a lot. And at that point in time, my dad was posted in Delhi. So I wrote a letter to him saying, I'm missing him a lot. I'm missing you a lot. Can you please come? The moment he got the letter, he booked a train ticket and he came to meet me. And I was on the terrace in the balcony, I remember, on the terrace, sorry, and I see him coming. And that moment, I felt that intensity with which he actually loved me because he got the letter, and that's what my grandmom told me. That the moment he saw your letter, he packed his bag and he just went off. So I till date, I've not felt that kind of intensity in love with anybody else.
What was your age at that time?
About 7, 8.
Okay. Okay. How would you describe that love?
The kind of love, like you look up to that person, the kind of love you would have for your father, a fatherly figure,
Hmm.
that kind of love.
Hmm. Okay.
And somebody who would be there for you no matter what.
Right.
That kind of love.
Okay. Anyone else?
I could. For me, it was at the age of 2, and in front of me was my grandfather, but between him and me was the cosmos. It almost felt like it was something beyond the human, like something that was within this cosmic expression of eternal life. That sort of, I could feel this heart open and notice that there was just universe between him and me.
At the age of 2. Wow. So that's quite deep, right? You felt that connection. Did you feel it with anyone else with your parents or anybody else? You felt the similar way, or the love was different?
I think it was different because after that, since then, I think in time, I've always tried to say, how do I see the cosmos and all? That feeling, how do I recreate that feeling of the cosmos of the universal experience of that connection. It's not, I couldn't touch him, I couldn't necessarily do that, but you knew that there was everything in between.
It's quite fulfilling, right?
Oh, yeah.
So even without the touch, that emotion was quite fulfilling. Okay. Thanks, Nana. Anyone else?
For me, it was
My sister is 9 years older than me, and she had a baby that year. And holding that little newborn, and then he was with us for 3 or 4 months. So the kind of love I felt for that baby, just I think for the first time, maternal instinct, whatever,
Right.
was awakened, and then I knew this is like I want babies.
Right. Right.
That kind of that's the
Yeah.
first when you said first this thing of love.
Yeah. 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 Yes. Different dimensions of love. Right. See, everybody has experienced love differently than others. Right.
Because of which I wrote a letter to my dad.
Okay.
I want to come back. He never asked why. He sent everything to me in school. He sent me marbles, he sent me tops, he used to get food from Bangalore, which was a vegetarian school where he used to get a lot of non-vegetarian food. But then he was very, the friendship between him and the principal of the school was something different.
Right.
So I just wrote him a letter. He came the next morning and took me back home. And till today, the gathering here, till today, I have not been able to understand why I came back. Probably now I do.
Hmm.
And I've told Lata also this, that I have not been able to find an answer as to why
Hmm.
I came back from school.
Hmm.
So you didn't complete your
I didn't complete my schooling from Russia.
Oh,
I came back in the 9th
okay.
and I completed my schooling from Bombay College.
Wow.
You were destined to meet.
Yeah, we met, forget it. Sorry.
We know the story.
That's a different kind of love.
Yeah. But that's so true. You know, it's like there are different facets and different ways love is. And to experience that kind of love, I feel, we're so fortunate to have some of us experience the love of grandparents, to, have uncles, have cousins, have siblings. Even we fought with them, but we have somebody growing up. So I'm an only child. So I don't know what sibling love is. I just know it from others. I haven't experienced that. What does it feel like to love a sister or a brother? The closest I got to is with my friend. I said, I see him as my brother. But is that the same kind of love I would have had with a sibling? I don't know. So what are we saying here is that it's an experience. I haven't experienced that love. So what kind of love do we feel? We are feeling certain different kinds of love with different experiences, aren't we? The love between a father and a son. Just getting a letter and saying, okay, that's it. I'm going to come out and get him home. The feeling of, holding a child at that young an age and feeling, okay, now I want to refuel this and I want to become a mother and I'm ready to do that. Uncle, just dropping everything and coming over. So so what is this? This is their love language. And we have different kinds of love language. A lot of times love is not expressed in words. A lot of times it is. So is it necessary for it to be always spoken out? A lot of us have trouble with that. But it is important sometimes to hear that you are loved by somebody else. And there is sometimes a deficit of that kind of love being spoken out. Right? But often, they're the little actions. They're not those kind of major, events of celebration of, an anniversary or a birthday or something of that sort. Could be the smallest thing. Like, for example, a cousin just sending something as a small maybe a note, right? Or a message that you receive from them, and it puts a smile on your face, and you feel, this guy sent me such a nice message. Right? Then that love for that cousin comes up. So it's a small little act that happens. It's in the smaller things. It's not really in the larger things.
The warmth. Yeah.
The warmth, right? Right. Now, if you talk about love, in even at home, the little things that people do, even if things that couples do, where a person in the morning wakes up, goes to the kitchen, makes a coffee for himself, makes a coffee for his wife, and goes and takes that coffee and gives that coffee to his wife. And he's been doing that for the last 35 years. Is that love?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Or is it habit?
No, I think
No, caring. No. The first time when he made, it was out of love only. Then becomes a habit is a different thing.
Right.
But then, of course,
Right.
the love is there.
Right.
It becomes a duty.
So when I do couples counseling,
How he takes it when he doesn't make it sometimes.
So when I do couples counseling, a lot of times, I ask this question and makes a person think, why are you doing these things? What kind of things have you really done? And if you're doing it out of habit, or are you doing it out of love? So like you said, sometimes it's just love in the beginning, and then it's become a habit.
But habit also, because of the love only becomes habit. I mean,
Then is it care or is it love?
But you feel good also when you do it for someone.
Maybe sometimes you don't.
but then you recognize when he fails one day sometimes, and then the wife says, doesn't matter because of something you have felt, then it is understanding of husband.
Exactly. When you sort of start missing that, right? Like, for example, we do trial separation. Right? We say, okay, you're not getting along. Do a trial separation and see. Move out, stay separately for 6 months or so, or a year, whatever, it's up to you, and then come back. Right? And then we do couples counseling in the middle. So I ask, okay, what were you missing? Were you missing anything? And sometimes they say, not really. I felt good being alone. Sometimes they come in, they say, I felt that these things were missing in my life. So then you say, okay, if these things are missing, like for example, a cup of tea, or just giving a hug before leaving for work, those kind of things, are they missing in your life? Were they missing because of habit? Was it care or was it love? What did you think? How did you feel? So each couple I've seen over the years, they say different things. Because sometimes we can't differentiate care from love, right? From habit, right? So also understanding these differences are important. Like with buddies, with roommates, with caregivers who are connected with you by blood. Sometimes, also, I'm diverting a little bit, but you also kind of experience and get love from somebody who is not related to you. And that love is even deeper. So you kind of connect, you don't know what that, it's not important for you to be connected, because why does that happen? And of course, if we go exploring that, we can go to any level. Like you said, the cosmos, the earlier births, and all of those things can come in as that connect you felt with another human being so deep. It's the depth of that love, right? So to understand this is to do some introspection. Am I doing this out of habit? Am I doing this out of care? Am I doing this out of love?
Can I add one more here? Duty.
Am I
In our culture.
okay? Yeah. So is it out of duty? That's also so true. For example, if you, Nana you can, but I'll just, so if the like for example, I'll do something for my dad because it's my duty. Okay, he's grown old, I'm an adult, but the love is not there. It's become very transactional. So it's a duty, right? I'm doing it out of duty. So there's no love, there's not even care. None of them. Habit. There's no habit. Because we haven't lived together for so long, so many years. So I'm doing it because of just my duty. You can give another example if you like.
No,
That's fine.
But because you love, you care.
It can be, but
Most often it is.
sometimes it's an absence. You're caring. For example, if you see somebody on a flight who is not well and who's just fallen maybe, and you just help that person while others are just looking. Why are you helping that person? Do you feel love for that person?
No, it's a duty.
Is it a duty?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
you're a
Okay.
person.
Yeah.
It's care.
No one else is going.
I feel like I go and help that person.
Yeah.
There's no love there.
Yeah.
There's care, right? Well, other people's don't feel that. Okay, it's not even that duty. So there's a difference between care and love. Because I've seen this with so many interactions. As therapists, we become observers. So we are sitting and we're observing these things and say, "Oh, why did that person do that?" Like if somebody happens to fall, I think because we are more empathetic, we are the ones to first go and help, because we are in this profession because we are empathetic. If you love your profession, you're here for that reason. So, but mostly people do it for care. They don't have any other reason to do it but for care.
For example, making a cup of tea in the morning.
Yes.
You obviously see your wife sitting there. You want to give her a cup of tea. It is love, first, and it's also care. It's not duty.
Yes.
I don't consider that duty.
Okay. So, with some couples, it becomes duty. I'll tell you why. Because, love was there initially. Love in a few years have faded, gone, right? Then there is the care element. You're existing, you're caring, so you're doing it out of care. Even the care is gone to the level of duty. Now, this is not with every couple, but there are couples where I've seen in my work who are doing it out of their duty. That's it. There is no love, there's no care. It's my duty, that's why I'm doing it. It's the same thing when I said, if I don't have any love, care, habit, some of it could be habit also, that, you've stayed together, so we're doing this out of habit, but definitely not out of love and definitely not out of care.
So to interrupt you, as we are, suppose you're having tea. If you're having, so you would not feel like getting one cup or make a cup for your wife also?
No,
No?
I never do that.
Okay. Not you. In general.
She's sitting right here. She can answer it. So, no, but that's true.
Yeah.
Our
brain does it activate like that? Okay, I'm having, so I also feel like getting it for you. So does that also?
There's that feeling,
Yeah, that's
right?
feeling, huh?
What is that feeling?
Love, right?
So you may feel that love, and I'm doing that because of love. Otherwise, there's no feeling.
Yeah.
I'm doing that maybe out of habit, or we've been raised that way. Right? And some people can't express love because they have been raised that way. They can't express love. They feel a lot of love, but they can't express that love. Because when they were kids, now it wasn't taught to them. It wasn't a learned behavior early on in childhood. Also, they have grown up in a family where everything is very formal. Nobody even hugged each other. So they've grown up with that feeling of, okay, this is the way love is. Right? They get mixed up between love and care. Maybe, in the parental role that they've seen as parents, they have not seen that kind of love in their parents. They were probably just existing. There's duty, right? But no love. So then again, how do they emote that love? Unless they learn it later in life.
Yeah, they should learn. I mean,
That if they have,
experience when they get the love,
yes,
it was not they had
Yes.
when they were small with the parents. And they should learn and develop that love for others.
yes. So sometimes, so what you're saying, it can be developed, it can be felt, right? You then start to, maybe you get a partner who starts to change that part of you, or you have certain experiences in life, or you learn, okay, this is also okay. This is also okay to do, right? Like touching or holding somebody's hand, feeling that support, right? It's the intention when you do that. It's not, that you are if it's a female or a man, it's the female, it's the intention that you have to give them that support, right? And so the love, the care, even like we have people, and again, this is a little technical, but people who have autism, right? There's a myth, autistic people can't feel love. But autistic people feel a lot of love. They can't express it. They have a poker face. So when, there's something, celebration is going on, you've just won a gold medal in something, wow, that's so great. And the autistic person is like, yeah, I did. So what's wrong with this guy? Why isn't he happy? And, he should be happy. Inside, he is very happy. He's not able to express it. Because that's the autism. Because autistic brain, again, is wired differently. We call it neurodivergence. It's a neurodivergent brain, which is wired differently. So when it's wired differently, they're feeling emotions differently, they're expressing emotions differently. And so that, to a certain extent, they can learn, and they learn, which is called masking. So they learned that behavior and they mask and they go along, right? But they, in social cues, they don't understand what is going on actually. So anyway,
Just one thing I would like to what Shishir said. One thing I would like to add to that is, with love, as he said rightly, with love, care comes automatically. But with care, not necessarily that the love would be there.
Right.
Yeah.
So love and care are always together, I believe, to a large extent. But care doesn't necessarily mean that you would love that
love
person.
that person, right? Okay.
I would like to add to that. As I said, at 37 I experienced this. Of course, I'm sure like others experienced at a young age also, but I don't remember. But this, at the age of 37, it is etched in my mind because 3 members of my family were in the hospital at the same time. My dad for bypass surgery in Leelavati, my mother for hip bone surgery in Nanavati, and my wife was delivered.
Oh my God.
So we were staying in Andheri, mom was in Nanavati, dad was in Leelavati, wife was in a nursing home in Bandra, and I was working in Lalbagh. So I, like an honorary surgeon, used to leave my house in the morning at 7, go to Nanavati, Leelavati, and then the nursing home, and then go to work, and again evening the same back way. Wife, father, and then mother, and then back home. So all along, I used to take care of my parents like as a duty and care. But during that time when they were hospitalized and were going through the sufferings of the operation and the bypass surgery, that time love was invoked. It was there, but couldn't do it. I mean, I was actually hugging my father in the hospital, which I had never done at home. So that care and duty, what we call, invoked love, which was there, but it was like suppressed or hidden or out of embarrassment. Sons don't hug their
Fathers.
So that is etched in my mind, and of course, I experienced mom, dad, wife, and my newborn daughter at that time.
Wow.
So all at the same time, so that at age of 37 is etched in my mind.
Right. How nice, right? And that's again the example of where we were talking about where, growing up probably in your family, you wouldn't hug your dad,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
And so that didn't
I used
feel
to hug him when I used to leave. I used to hug him at the hospital and then leave for home.
right.
It was like that.
Right.
I never felt any embarrassing situations like we feel in a normal situation.
Right.
Because after we get married, our priorities change.
Right.
I mean, we evolve into a different human being now that the wife and kids are first responsibility, parents become a second responsibility. But you have to handle it all.
Yeah.
Why are men so less expressive?
Oh,
When it comes to the-
was that chit? Was that chit? Was that chit? Why are men less expressive? Is that true?
No. Yeah. Many men are.
No.
No,
Yeah,
not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, I agree.
In terms of gestures, maybe they do it in action, but in terms of gesture, in terms of maybe hugging and kissing,
Depending
and all
who's in
that.
front of you.
But they are less expressive.
Yes.
Yes.
Not all men.
Yeah, not all
I've
men.
noticed,
Not
yeah.
all.
Most
But
men are-
most men
They
don't-
suppress.
Yeah.
They suppress a lot. They suppress a lot more than women for some reason.
Yeah, women, I think, tend to, yes, like, holding someone's hand, hugging, sort of comes more naturally to them. But some women, I found that that's not the case. They don't like to be touched or they don't like to be hugged. They want to, that expression of love by touch is not so much there, right? With men, with boys, again, you probably at best give a side hug or whatever. I mean, it's so you don't, and in my generation, I don't know you guys, but my generation, it was more about you don't hug a girl. Girls are there, boys are here.
Society. Are they? I mean, I have read about society or something.
Yeah, it's just that you're in school. It's like either it's you see them as buddies, friends in school. Sometimes it's a romantic thing, but you can't express it to them. And if you have, maybe you've been rejected, so then you be scared to approach again. Again, I'm going to get rejected. Damn. So that could be that. And then sort of, that's where you start suppressing somewhere your feelings and emotions, I think,
But is it also that when you go back in history, we were hunter-gatherers?
Yeah.
A man's job was to be fierce and go out and get. There was no space for that. You had to be fierce. You had to be the protector. You had to be strong. And that became also wiring of the nervous system and the way the brain became. Because there's no space to cry and to kill her.
Hmm.
Where a woman would not able to do that and naturally became the nurturer, the caretaker.
The givers.
And it's not necessarily givers,
Okay.
but caretakers
Acha.
and nurturers.
Okay.
That they nurture life, the man has to go out and maybe sometimes take life to bring back home. And that whole construct changed the way in which what brain the man uses versus what brain the feminine uses. Even spiritually, the feminine is different than the masculine. We have both.
The energies are different,
The energies are different based on what at that time we had to, I think, place.
right? Yeah. So from the very beginning, we have been kind of conditioned, you can say, to behave in that certain way. But I feel now, like earlier, the man would go out and would be the bread earner, would come home and, his role was different. The wife is supposed to take care of the house and the kids and, he would not even spend time with his kids. A lot of fathers would do that. They would be just, working home, work home, and home means me time, like sitting, watching TV or doing whatever, have a drink, and very little time with family, like very little time with kids. But later on, I found that fathers have become more hands-on. So they're taking part in raising the child. It doesn't stop at just the child being born and okay, that's it. He's my son or daughter.
Yeah, and I think it's coming before the children come. It's in the relationship. There's more equality
In the relationship.
In the relationship.
Right.
The children come at a later
Yes,
stage.
yes,
But
yes.
the partners roles are more balanced.
Yes, you're right. Because
Today's
correct.
last generation.
Because you already know that it's an unspoken thing, right?
No demarcation.
There's no
Yes.
this is my job.
That has changed.
Yes. So all that I think has changed the way families are. Earlier it was joint families. Now they've become nuclear families, and some people are still living in joint families. And when they live in joint families, the structure is different. They're more open.
So, but still, men don't share responsibilities. Some of the men don't know even now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm sorry to share, but I have been in this relationship. My ex-husband, he didn't know.
How to?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes, he didn't know.
Yeah.
Even if they
Yeah.
know, they won't.
Yeah, he had to be told to
Right.
do
Right.
XYZ.
Right.
You know?
Yes. No, they are. They
Yeah,
are.
they don't. Yeah, sorry. Excuse me. His mom didn't teach him, or I had to tell him like, okay, you're doing this. Then, on his own, he never did it. Work was a big thing for him.
So who was the giver in that relationship?
Yeah.
So when one person is the giver in the relationship, those relationships usually there is trouble. Because you can't be giving and you can't be taking all the time. Your husband was a taker.
Yeah.
You were the giver.
Yeah.
So in any relationship, husband, wife, brother, sister, there is give and take. That's healthy. If it gets disbalanced, then there's trouble. Then you get exhausted, you get burnt out.
Yes.
Now how much can I do?
Yeah.
I'm the one always doing this.
That's what happened.
And that's what's happening with friends these days. When I'm making all the effort as to make a call, send a message, I'm the guy who's organizing everything. Then after a while I get exhausted and I say, you guys also take initiative, na? Do something. So then the friendship is also not the same as it was before. Like I've seen my dad's generation, they're so close, they're school friends. Even now, they get together, they've always been in touch. They always had that kind of friendship. But now I'm seeing like even my son's generation, it's like, more like everybody's doing their own thing. We meet up, we connect, but then again, there's that depth of friendship is somewhere. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's something I've been seeing. That's also changing, right? So.
But that's changing because the world's changing, no? Like because the world's moving so fast, everyone wants to prioritize themselves first. That's why they don't focus on friendship that much.
What about spending time together? What about spending time with friends? Hanging out with friends?
Yeah, so everyone's like so ambitious nowadays. They want to do stuff for themselves. They don't care about their friends that much. So with your dad's generation, they looked after one another. They saw who needed help and all. That's why maybe.
They looked out for each other. They looked out, right? So now the digital, it's easier to just text a friend. Sort of people are just texters. They don't like to call.
Oh, they don't call. When I call, no one picks up the phone.
Kids don't call. No, they're not talking.
Yeah.
Families are not
Yeah. On the phone.
In
Yeah.
our age, you're not allowed to really call someone. Supposed to
No, they
text.
don't.
Yeah.
Then you get back when they're free.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think it's just easier to text.
Yeah, and then even if you wanna call, you text first. Can I call?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think
But this guy is different, He prefers calling than texting.
Even I do.
Yeah.
Like with my friends, I only call them. I'm
Yeah.
not really bad your dad.
Yeah. But when I text you, I don't.
I don't text.
Yeah. But when I call you, don't pick up my call.
Sometimes you text for half an hour and suddenly realize, why can't I just pick up the phone?
I talk to that. We're going backwards also.
Yeah, it's easier to.
Just pick up the phone and call. Yeah.
No, but I think relationships there's no formality today, so you're
Yes.
hesitant.
Yeah.
Would they be free?
Exactly.
Whereas in the landline days, we used to just pick up the call and
Ah,
we had no
yeah.
other means of
Now the
communication.
landline is
Yeah.
That was the only thing we had. So we picked up the phone.
Yes.
Now there are other ways. So you are overthinking it.
Yes.
Right.
Into will that person be free
Free,
to talk
yeah.
just now? So
Right.
I'll text and ask.
Right.
No,
Right.
you're not overthinking it because the other person's already set boundaries. In their generation, there were no boundaries.
Yeah.
So whatever you want, you just call.
And just drop in as well.
Yes, just the bell
But-
would constantly keep ringing. After every hour, there would be somebody at the door.
I
Uninvited.
want
That's
to.
how I have grown up.
I want to share an example. I mean, thing that I remember. One of my uncles used to drop in at all odd hours, right? And my granddad was a very disciplined guy. He would come, let me know, inform me, or come at a decent time. So my granddad was probably close to 90 at that time. No, even younger.
70.
Yeah, 70 or 80s, right? He was sitting there. My uncle would just ring the bell and he'd bring his whole family, right? And family, cousins, everybody would come at 10 o'clock. He'd ring the bell and he'd come. So my granddad used to look at him and then look at the clock. And he didn't get the hint, right? He'd do that every time. And then, my grandmom, poor thing, is sort of expected to feed them all because they're all hungry. They've come to eat. Then they're expecting food will be there because food was always there at our home. Right? In that generation, there was always food. Right? Mom's generation also. My mom, always there was food at home. And they love to entertain and feed people, and that's okay. But sometimes you get too much. You suddenly come in and you expect people to then, serve you meals. So yeah, anyway, we're going off topic, coming back to love. So the little things is what I wanted to sort of tell you guys, that if you walk away thinking from this gathering that, look, they're the smaller things. Mostly it's the small gestures that we do for other people. For example, a wife would send her husband lunch and know that, this is what he likes, and maybe sends something else with it, that he hasn't asked for. But she knows that this is what he likes. So she will send it every time, right? That's not out of habit. That's out of love. It's the habit would be just, I have to send lunch, whatever I have to send, I'll just send. Ho gaya.
Sometimes you get something which you don't expect.
Yes.
You don't know what the lunch is.
Yes.
You open the dabba and hear
Then
it.
yeah.
And then, well, as far as I'm concerned, and I think Lata will vouch for it, I always, whether it's a call or whether it's text or whether I come back home and tell her, yes, that was a lovely vegetable. Or that was a lovely dal.
Yes.
But not even Babaji.
So these little things, automatically when you look at it, you feel that love. Because you just, look at it and you say, wow, my wife loves me or my husband loves me to do this, rather than Valentine's Day, send a bouquet of flowers because it's a thing to do. It's a Valentine's Day, send a bouquet of flowers,
He cares. I mean, if love also, no, he cares.
Yeah.
That's what we
Yeah.
understand. He cares. Yes, yeah. At the end of the day, what else could he want? He cares. Yeah.
But point is, why just Valentine's Day? Why not just send some flowers, chocolates, whatever you want on any day?
Yeah,
There's a thought that, I'm caring for you.
So much to do with, I think you have to take a little bit one step in is between what becomes a habit, it becomes automatic behavior, versus being fully present in that moment to think of the other person. And that shifts when you're present wholly in that moment to the other person versus something I've done for years and I will keep doing automatically. Believing that it's still love versus not knowing that maybe you've evolved and that may not be something I appreciate anymore. And so am I present to that evolution? Am I present to what I shifted? And so taking love out of the context of automatic behavior, to be more present with the person and to yourself, and to be even available to your feelings.
Yeah.
You have to be present to feel when that box opens.
Yes.
What it may bring up for you.
Yes,
If I'm
yes.
so caught up in my head and on the phone and I have a meeting in 5 minutes.
Just eat that.
You
Eat
know,
whatever.
That reconnection to say, hey, that brought up something for me, which is being fully present in that moment.
Yes.
The love exists in the present moment
Yes.
of that
Yes.
experience,
Yes.
not in the automatic thing that we do.
Yes.
I think that's something that I'm learning myself as a human experience of what it is to be fully present in that moment,
Yeah.
to whatever is happening,
Yeah.
to fully feel with love and connection.
Being mindful.
Being mindful, rather than being in the automatic of, yes, I have to, my nephew's come this day, I have to wake up and make him breakfast, I know he likes eggs, I know he make him eggs, and but yeah, I think it was just standing out for me when we were talking about habit and all of these things, and when we talked about that, is to be really present to that experience that shows up.
Yes. Yes.
To be,
Yeah.
I think a simple gesture of whoever it is, whether it is Alia, whether it is Lata, anybody, just sends you something which is out of the box. I don't think there is any harm in accepting the fact that you've got something, might as well show your love.
Mm.
It is so important. And we do that all the time at home.
Right.
Even if Lata doesn't cook, Anju's there to cook.
Right.
And when she makes something really nice, it is appreciated.
Right.
And openly appreciated.
Right.
It's not that because she is cooked it and because she's a person who's been with her for 27 years. But there is no harm in
Is
accepting.
Yeah.
expressing.
Expressing.
What you mean is expressing what you feel.
Correct.
A lot of people have reservations about expressing it.
Now here's a man who is expressing, appreciating what is happening, right? We were talking
There are
about.
people who have a problem doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't
We come
easily
across
express
people.
Lots of
it.
people.
Everybody's not able to.
Yes. Yes. So
It's
that.
just like saying sorry,
Yes.
Yeah.
forgiveness.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
difficult.
It's so
Yeah.
It's
important.
not easy to say
And
sorry.
it's not so simple to say sorry.
No.
Absolutely.
It's much harder than saying thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry I messed up. Let's get on with it.
But I think forgiveness is the greatest act of love.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, to be able to surrender the ego to say I'm sorry,
Yes.
I hurt you, and
Yes.
that is such tremendous love.
Yes.
Takes a lot of strength
Mm.
actually
It's a
to
very
say that.
powerful tool.
Yes.
That word sorry or forgiveness.
Yes.
And genuinely feeling it when you say it.
Yes.
You've never said it to me.
I say, oh, I love you always.
Okay, let's carry on. Please.
Yeah. She-
Another direction.
Another thing, just very quickly.
Yes.
Especially as couples, and this is what's coming to my mind at this point in time, we evolve. You know how we are constantly evolving as couples as well. Like when I was 19, 18 and a half when I met you, and today I'm 44. So I have maybe I liked flowers at that point in time. But now that I've evolved to a different person, I do not like it. And maybe you're still doing, to be aware of the other person's needs and to be aware of how the other person is evolving and whether you are at pace with that. That also kind of shows a lot of love when you're putting in that effort to understand that.
I only sent you flowers when our son was born. That's
Yeah,
it.
that was the only time in 25 years.
Maybe evolve and give you more expensive stuff.
In the beginning, you said wipe the board clean.
Yes.
When I wiped the board clean, the first thought that came to my mind is, what am I doing here?
Okay.
Yeah, when I was thinking that, what am I supposed to do now?
Okay. You know the reason why I asked you to wipe the board clean was because when we walk in, there's a lot of chatter in our minds. You know, you'll be thinking of something or the other. So when we do an activity like this, it's sort of a grounding activity where you're symbolizing something, right? That is deeply ingrained in your mind automatically. Wiping a board clean in school, duster, chalk, cleaning it, right? What would happen? Whatever was written is all gone. Now it's clean, it's clear. So that's what we're doing to our mind. We're just clearing it. Now he's saying that, okay, next exercise is. So I waited a little while for you to clear your thoughts and mind. And then I asked you to connect with when it was the first time you felt love. Because immediately if I did that, your mind would be thinking of 10,000 other things. Your mind would be here and there.
Yeah, my mind went up to the climbing of the stairs. Seriously, because I know I have a problem with
Yeah.
But when I saw that, first thing that came to my mind was
I climbed up all these stairs. Yes.
I have to reach there and I have to do it.
You took time and
Shishan, may I ask?
Yes.
You said that the question was, what am I doing here? What did that feel like for you to ask that question?
It got answered when the topic of love, different shades, different types of love. When that came, and that's when I started thinking about school. That's when I said, that's the time when I actually felt love. I don't know whether I was loved or not, but I felt the love.
you
Because I
felt
was
that
away
this-
from school, and obviously, and parents do love their kids, and it's not that they don't. But I missed that part of family. I'm not jealous of the fact that my sister was here, but I just felt that I was missing out on something. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? That's why, if you notice, as we went around, everybody's experience was different. The age was different, the experience was different. Okay, it was not just romantic love. We felt different kinds of love with different people, whether it be an uncle or, grandma or granddad. There were so many different kinds, and that's why this name came to me, the different shades of love, because that's what we actually see. At least I see that a lot, almost on a daily basis.
Personalities also matter.
Yes. So, see, we have lots of personalities. In this room, we have so many personalities. And a lot of us have personality disorders, which again becomes a little clinical. But a lot of times, they're personality traits, but not a disorder. So, narcissism is a big one. It's very openly talked about these days. This person is a narcissist. Right? But narcissism, a person can have traits of narcissism without having the disorder. There are criteria that define that, okay, if you have so many and you meet these criteria, then it becomes a disorder. Otherwise, these are just traits.
So they don't go to a counselor.
Yes, the narcissist usually tends to be in that position. I don't need help. Right? People who have, they have a delusion of nothing is wrong with me. I think in my work, I've seen people with borderline personality disorders not seeking help for themselves. And I've seen narcissistic personalities also not seeking help for themselves because they feel the problem is with the world. The problem is with the other person. The problem is not with me. It's never me. It's others. So there's also very complex cases to handle. Not all therapists are equipped to handle effectively cases of borderline personality disorder or narcissistic personality disorder. The perfect definition to love? If yes, what is it? Is possessiveness love? Right? So, it's a two parts question, right? So, is there a perfect definition to love? Is there a perfect definition for love or to love?
To love. Describe love.
So, how do you define love? That's what you're asking, right?
Yeah.
Can we define love? Is there something that we can sort of say that yes, this is love? Expressing love? Right? So when we express love,
I think all definitions would be so varied depending
Yes,
on the person who's
yes.
expressing it.
no, so love primarily is an emotion and a feeling. Primarily. Sometimes, like we said, we don't express it. So how do we define it? It is an emotion and a feeling. So what are you feeling? So if you go inward, it's also, the senses. The senses is what we're using to feel emotions. That's why I asked you to close your eyes. Because you go within. I'm seeing something, it is invoking love in me. I may be seeing a movie and it's invoking love in me. So a lot of people start crying, right? When they watch something. Because why? That has invoked that emotion in you. That's why. If you're watching a movie, it doesn't invoke. Like you could be sitting with 4 people. Some people, they're not crying, they're watching the film. Okay, good, nice, very good. The other person is howling, crying, oh, buckets, I need tissues, right? A lot of it is the craft of the actor, the person who's written the script and all of that, but they are invoking that emotion in a person.
I must have done that somewhere or sometime that way. I kind of
You may connect with it yourself, yes. So maybe I have
been in that position so I can understand, I can deeply connect. Or it could be nothing you've experienced, but you've experienced that love. So that invokes that love. Or a memory. That, oh yeah, something similar happened to me. No, now I remember that. So immediately you start and you become all emotional. You connect with that. And if you're sensitive, then you connect with it at a more deeper level. So defining love is actually difficult. I don't think there's one clear answer. Would you know? I also wouldn't know. I wouldn't know exactly how to define love. I think this is an emotion that you feel. And I think there's a range of emotions you feel. Like with different people, that's what we're saying. Like the love you feel for your grandfather may be different from the love you feel for your mother, will be different from the love you feel for your brother, to your wife, girlfriend. So there's different range of love. Underneath it's love, but different intensities of love is what I would say. Different emotions, and the emotions love, but different ways of feeling that love. Does that make sense? So second point is what is it that we talked about? Is possessiveness love? It can be, right? But like I said earlier, that possessiveness, a lot of times, yes, this is somebody I really, that person is mine. I can't share this person with anybody else. That person is, right? I have to be that person's everything. So what's the opposite? It's like learning to let somebody free, love them, but don't be possessive of them. So you're giving them their space, you're giving them their, space basically is to allow them to give some of that love back to you, or at least feel that love.
Hi, I'm here at Safe Space. Came here to listen to Dr. Vihan Sanyal speak on different shades of love. It was a very engrossing session. just as it was the last time I was a witness to a session where we spoke about why people are complicated. And I think people opened out. But these kind of sessions require a lot more people to open out, talk about themselves, talk about love, talk about whatever Vihan wants to talk about. And he has probably selected certain topics that he wants to talk about. And I think coming to these kind of sessions has kind of given me a deeper meaning of what happened to me. And I really found the answer today. So I'm really grateful to Vihan for having spoken about love and different shades of love. Thank you so much.
This is the second place where the second topic, Shades of Love, was talked about. And it was very interesting, very nice. Met a lot of people. So many different things. Many people have different, um, their own experiences, their own things, what they've gone through. And hearing them talking about things about my own self felt nice. And and to end with everything, some tea and lovely snacks. Thank you.
We came into contact with Vihan when my son went through an anxiety problem during COVID, and I think Vihan helped him to get rid of that. But this program showed us that we have to be calm and uh, thoughtful in when we are on a particular subject, because I am normally the one who jumps from one subject to the other subject during the same time. I like to do multitasking. So this has helped me to calm down my nerves and concentrate on few things. So it has helped me a lot, and let me see if I can change myself. Thank you.
So hi, I'm Charlene. I like that it was really calming and uplifting, and it was great listening to different perspectives from everyone. So eventually, that helps in the individual healing journey.
Hi, thank you so much for coming, all of you. And I'm saying it with a lot of genuine love and saying that, look, I really thoroughly enjoyed with everyone. Whoever has come here today has made the event much better than I had imagined it to be. And, it was more conversation rather than it just being a talk. So I hope to see you all soon again for our next event. Thank you.